And he has a slightly different opinion from what many thought. He talked about why are people corrupt? And he mentioned, the fact that there are lack of social amenities, lack of funding for children's school fees, and he says pay them good and living wage. And perhaps corruption can be defeated. He highlighted his efforts in the area of student loan, increasing minimum wage, and if we can even get more allocation. But some have also said there's need to balance that thought, because if you don't penalize corruption, you don't also show to those people coming behind that there is definitely pain when you do the wrong thing. People need to see corrupt leaders punished, taken to court and really having actual jail term in that sense of it. Without that record example, the feeling out there is that corruption might persist. We're hearing from the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission now that it dismissed 27 of its officers last year. And that dismissal was following the recommendation of the Staff Disciplinary Committee of the EFCC, which was ratified by the Executive Chairman, Ola Olukoyede. They were dismissed for various offenses that the agency calls fraudulent activities and misconduct. I'm joined on the show this morning by US-based lawyer and author, is also a political affairs analyst, Dr. Okpe Banwo. Dr. Banwo, good morning.
Good morning. How are you today?
Thank you for joining us.
Thank you so much for having me.
How's Nigeria?
Oh, I love it so far. I've been having a great time.
Everybody is jackpot, but they still find time to come back home.
Yeah, because it's still our country, no matter what we say.
Maybe it's not that bad after all.
Not necessarily that it's not that bad, but because it's your country, you don't have anyone. You might be an American, but you're never really going to be one of them. We all know that. And I've really had some very positive experiences, starting with the airport. I have to give
There's a lot of upgrade there.
I have to give Keyamo his props. It took me 5 minutes from getting out of the plane to get out of the airport. It's never happened in 30-something years.
Wow.
And because I criticize the government a lot, when they do a great thing, I have to. Keyamo, I mean, they're killing it out there. I was very, very surprised. There was none of these trying to give people money and all that. And everything went smooth. And I was just stunned. And then the second thing I've noticed that is pretty good is that I was even afraid to even talk about it now so that in case I don't jinx myself, my light doesn't go off. so I've never seen that before. For the first 3 days, it didn't even blink.
There's no doubt about the fact that the cost-reflective tariff is working. People now have to pay more.
I don't care, I'll pay.
But there's light.
I don't care how much it is, I'll pay. But I was just stunned, so I don't even want to be telling my friends that my light don't go off, just in case it goes off. So it went off about like an hour or two, then came back on. For 5 days now, it's been excellent. I have to say that. I've not seen the cost, and I personally don't care. And I believe that most Nigerians, if you provide them the service, they don't mind paying.
Absolutely. Some said that we perhaps have gotten so used to free things, and that's why the system never works.
Yes. So those two, I have to give them. That's not to say everything is fine, but those two, it surprised me.
At least it gladdens my heart that, I just got back to have some few good things to say about Nigeria. But they say it doesn't really feel at home over there until you come back home. Is it true?
Well, yeah, like anywhere, it's like it's not even so much because we are abroad. If you live in Lagos and then you go and start staying in Abuja, or you live in Mushin and go to stay in Abuja, Abuja will never be like your home until you go back to Mushin. So the same way with Nigeria, those of us who really love this country, and you feel different when you come here because this is your place.
We'll get to the EFCC story shortly, but your book, The Kingmaker, is getting a lot of reaction. They say you're actually talking about Mr. President.
I don't know where they got that impression from. It's a novel. It's called a novel inspired by true life events. The Kingmaker of Muguland. Muguland is a fictional country, so how can I be talking about Mr.
So
President?
you really never thought of anybody when you were writing it?
Well,
between you and I, nobody's watching.
Every writer is inspired by something.
Okay.
All right. So I wanted I just love fiction now. So it frees you from all these, the thing being personal. Somebody saying he libeled me or didn't libel me, but you can still tell the historical stuff from your perspective. That's what this is.
We'll talk about that later and why you canceled the launch, perhaps some other time. But let's turn our attention to anti-corruption. Fraudulent activities and misconduct is why EFCC says it has dismissed 27 officers last year. Maybe it's the journalist in me. Why do I think that's a little vague? Not revealing the identities, the cases against them, because usually what you know EFCC for when they're prosecuting their corruption cases.
Yes, and I have to say this with all sense of respect to Mr. Olubode. I really love when the man was appointed. I thought he was going to be a game changer. He could put himself in history because he's a professional. I've met him once, all professional, but I'm pretty disappointed that he has a great chance to write himself into history, but he's not doing it. You don't dismiss officers and don't tell us who they are. In a country like Nigeria, deterrence is one of the greatest motivators because people still have a lot of self-respect. They want to be seen as good people in public. But the EFCC dismissed. I'm not talking about those who are accused. If you are trying to protect the accused name until they are found guilty, you already found them guilty. You've signed off on their dismissal, and you don't tell us who they are. It's an insult to the Nigerian people. Same way they do when they tell you that they've recovered billion here, they've recovered billion here, they don't tell you the names of the people. Like the person that they confiscated 700 and something duplexes from. So for me, our current EFCC chairman, he might have meant well, but it's been over nice, so to speak. I see him as being too sensitive to the feelings of accused persons. So that he's turned himself into a motivator, more or less. Every time he's always talking about what is wrong with Nigeria. When you see the files, you cry over them, and I keep asking myself, we didn't appoint you, Mr. President did not appoint you to come and cry over the files. He appointed you to solve the problem. So if internally they say they've dismissed 27 people, but we don't know who they are, who's to say how is that going to stop other people from doing it tomorrow?
I hear you and I understand your stance, but give it to the man. It's not the first time the EFCC is dismissing officials under his current administration. In November last year, 2 corrupt officials were also let go. There's this hush conversation as regards perhaps some corrupt practices within the anti-corruption agencies. It's perhaps the first time in a long while that we are hearing that some are being dismissed. You don't think it's a pass mark to an extent?
How can I give him a pass mark when I don't know who they are? The real is the names that actually improves the situation, not the fact that you tell us you've dismissed 27 people. How do we even know there are 27? How do we even know you dismiss anybody when we don't have their names so that people can verify? And I'm also disappointed in Nigerian press. If the EFCC makes a press release like that, I expect all of them to be all over him. Who is these 27 people? The Nigerian public has a right to know.
No, Nigerians are asking already. You also talked about the issue of the estate in Abuja.
Yes.
Let me read the response from EFCC to you here. I think it was Mr. Oyewale, the spokesperson, who mentioned that the identity of the owner could not be revealed because the investigation into the suspected criminality in the acquisition of the property is ongoing. He explained that the company suspected to be the owner denied ownership of the estate. And according to him, it will be unprofessional for EFCC to go to town by mentioning names of individuals whose identities were not directly linked to any title document of the properties.
Please give me a break. So you got to the point where you got 700 and something houses to be forfeited. You don't get to forfeit unless you file proper documents with some documentation and names and stuff like that. And the court granted you that. And you're telling me you don't want to tell us who these are. No, even if you are saying that they are denying being involved. Is it the first time EFCC has been telling us they are arresting people or that they are investigating people? To me, it's a letdown, and I have a lot of confidence in the man before. A letdown on the nation. 700 and something duplexes, like trillions.
It is the highest forfeiture in the history of EFCC.
And you feel that Nigerians don't have a right to know who are everybody concerned?
Well, but some said they have seen the name in the court documents, however. So there's a particular name on the news. Personally, I can't confirm that. Yes. But I'm trying to say that, are you not seeing any silver lining at all in that dark cloud, an improvement from what it used to be? No.
Let me be clear. The current EFCC chairman is a marked difference from what we have seen in the past. Very professional, very cultural. I'm saying he has an opportunity to write himself into the history books, but he's missing that by being, I'm not going to say over professional, by being too sensitive to the feelings of the so-called accused persons. It is not the job of the EFCC chairman, for instance, to say, oh, I see these 15-year-olds, 17-year-olds doing fraud, and I feel that the EFCC should go and start a school to re-educate them. That's not his job. His job is not to feel sorry for the criminals. His job is to bring them to book so that other people can stop. So he's done some good work. Like you said, he's got some people dismissing that. But is that what Nigerians really are looking for? The man has been there for years now. We have not seen one very high-profile looter prosecuted successfully and put in jail. That's what we are looking for.
The former Kogi State governor is in court now. I remember him coming out to say he's going to prosecute him or he will leave the office.
Don't even start with that Kogi State guy. Don't even start.
I think they did that.
But
no, because it is
the
his
same
word.
man that went to his office to be arrested and he said he's not going to see. The same man.
Leave out the details. I'm just trying to say. I'm trying to say the man has his day in court now, and he's still considered, innocent until proven otherwise.
I get that, but why would somebody that you yourself declared wanted show up in front of your offices and you refuse to arrest him or to talk to him, and then you send a policeman to his house at night? Is it more about the drama or about doing the work? That's what I'm asking myself now. Like I said, one of his big supporters before, but I'm asking myself now, what's going on?
Some say that the office of the EFCC chairman is arguably the least coveted of appointments, given how the tenure of past 5 chairmen in the history of commission ended.
Okay.
In very controversial manner.
Yes.
Since its establishment in 2003, during, I think it was President Olusegun Obasanjo, every individual who has headed that anti-corruption agency left the establishment in a controversial way.
Yes.
Usually with corruption allegations, the same corruption they were appointed to fight. But some have said there is more to that story than meets the eye. So you also perhaps want to discuss the situation based on the peculiarity of the office. So is there a sense, for instance, to which their appointment speaks to political allegiance? How do you work as EFCC chairman without, having no-go areas or the untouchables?
I don't know if he has no-go areas. He's never told us that Mr. President gave him no-go areas.
No, I'm just talking about all of the reactions we're getting from the public as regards this office in the past, relative to what we're seeing now.
Yes, the fact that it's different does not mean it's better, is what I'm telling you. In Nigeria, if the people are not afraid of the people who are committing these crimes, they are not afraid of the number one guy, it's never going to stop. I've gone to the EFCC website. He has dared us to go to the EFCC website. He really has completed thousands, tens of thousands of people. But they are mostly low-level people, all these small Yahoo boys. That's not the problem of Nigeria. The problem of Nigeria is that we have governors, we have ministers.
You don't think Yahoo boys are problems of Nigeria?
No, they're not.
You're from the US. You don't think the perception out there of how corrupt Nigeria is really has to do with what happens online?
No, the perception is not necessarily reality.
You really never experienced that in the US. Someone meets you and you said you're from Nigeria, and the first thing that comes to mind is wire fraud. Actually,
no. What they tell me is that they tell me about Nollywood. They tell me that Nigerians are probably the best boys to date. Girls tell me that. They tell me that Nigeria is the smartest. I'm not joking. Yes, you do hear every once in a while about people talking about the fraud. But I'm saying fraud is not our number one problem. The Chinese are the ones coming here to do the fraud now. Did you not see how many of them were arrested? So we get the rep. I get that. But our rep cannot be improved if we don't start doing high-profile convictions back at home.
You're a lawyer.
Yes.
There's also the reality that as head of the anti-graft agency, you're probably fighting the powers that be. Do you think that the office currently has the required backing and protection it needs under the law?
100% now. Good question. When our current EFCC chairman, Mr. Ali, was appointed, I was a very excited guy because I've known the man as not only is he a God-fearing man, he's also a consummate professional. So I will expect him, because he's a God-fearing man, if Mr. President or anybody else is holding his hand behind his back, he needs to speak out. So we know that it's not his problem. Until he tells me that, I'm holding him responsible. Mr. Tinubu, from what we know of him, he's appointed these people. From what I'm seeing, he's not micromanaging anybody. Okay, Keyamo is doing whatever he wants in aviation. Nobody is holding him. So same way with the EFCC chairman. I believe he has the authority. If he's not afraid to execute it, I'm going to hold him responsible until he tells me Mr. President is behind it. Right now, Nigerians do not see the impact of the work he's doing, and he's doing a great job. I'm saying that because what really matters to them is that most of us know, or we think we know, let me not accuse anybody, some of the big looters. How come he can't get one of them and take them down for the count? Not all this cat and mouse game he's playing with this Kogi guy. He's even reducing his rep
I don't understand cat and mouse.
Yes, if somebody comes to your office and says you're not going to arrest him, you go and start shooting guns.
No, we have moved past that. That's what I'm saying.
We are not past it.
We have, because the case, the man is not answering questions in two different courts. You know, yes. I mean,
so that's supposed to raise the profile of the EFCC chairman.
No. What I'm saying is that we've moved past the
cat and mouse. The man is supposed to have been convicted by now, is what I'm telling you. If he's doing his job.
But look how they can't do that. It's before the court now.
Yes, but
and you understand as a lawyer that all that EFCC can do is gather the evidence.
Yes.
The EFCC can't throw any suspect to prison.
How would you rate an organization that arrests people first and they say they are investigating, that they should keep them in jail while they are ongoing investigation? Any sane country, okay, you don't arrest until you have finished your investigation. You are not going to come to court in the US, you are arraigned an accused person in court, and you are telling the court they should detain him so that he can continue further investigation. The case will be dismissed right there by the lawyer. So my point is that that's why you see FBI over there, they can investigate you for 9 years before they come. But once they come, you know it's over. 90% of the time. But here in Nigeria, we arrest people, then we then tell the court, keep him in jail while we investigate. Take Dele Farotimi's case. Okay? They arrest the man, they took him to court, and you are hearing the prosecutor telling the judge, don't grant him bail because we are still doing an investigation about whether his book is libelous or not. Does that not make you want to cry?
So the EFCC is talking about commitment to zero tolerance policy. When the new chairman came on board, I recall that he actually asked the staff to publish their assets.
Okay.
You know, and he's talking about the fact that if we're going to fight corruption, we also have to come with clean hands and be as transparent as possible.
I'll give him that.
How important do you think that is to the ongoing fight? Because it looks like, well, I don't speak for the EFCC, but I'm just trying to play the devil's advocate here.
But it's okay.
Well, I have to, because
I understand.
Because the EFCC is not represented here.
Yes,
I'm hoping that maybe Mr. Olukayode himself can watch this conversation and come to answer some questions.
I'm a good.
But you know, I can't allow you to go all the way without applying some brakes. All right. So, but the point I'm making is, think about it from the point of view that perhaps the way they could have dismissed 27 officers is the fact that they asked them to declare their assets initially and found that something went wrong. Are you saying you're not seeing traces, you know, within this new administration of the agency that there's an attempt to clean house?
You just raised the problem, lack of transparency. Now you are guessing as to the reason why, even you that is defending them, you are guessing at the reason why they were dismissed. There should be no room for that. They list the names, they've been dismissed, so and so dismissed for this, for that. So that speculation will not be. Some people are speculating that they're just throwing that out there as a red herring. Some people are saying that this is just face saving. It's a great achievement, don't get me wrong, but it's undercut by the fact that there is no full information. Why don't they want to give the information? The people have already been dismissed. That means they've been judged guilty. Mr. Chairman has signed off on it. Why should Nigerians not have the names? We need the names so that way people, they can be named and shamed. People like me can go on my blog and mention those guys specifically by name. Okay, that who is policing the police. So they've done a great job. He needs to just finish it, is all I'm saying. All this secrecy is not, is undercutting the great work he's doing. I'm going to give him, when you go to their site, it's amazing the thousands of convictions he's gotten. You hear all these rumors of they've collected 10 billion from this one, they collected 5 billion from this one. Why won't you let us know their name? Because that is really what deters people. Those people that you collected 10 billion from, they probably have another 10 billion somewhere they've saved away. So collecting that 10 billion doesn't really affect them negatively. So for me, I think there should be more transparency, while I respect and understand that the man is really also trying to protect people's fundamental human rights. But if you have been found guilty, there is nothing to protect. It's all I'm saying. When he declared Mr. Kogi governor wanted, was he convicted at that time? But he chose to name that one. Why not name everybody else that you are looking for? So for me, yes, I agree. It's a marked improvement in terms of the way the EFCC treats suspects. They don't just come and start to mess you around anyhow or put your name out there even when something doesn't, where you have not been found guilty. But they need to do better. When they get conviction or they get an agreement, a plea deal, I understand. Plea deals go on everywhere in America. You do a plea deal, somebody agrees to forfeit so much back to the government in exchange for going to jail for a long time. I get that, but those deals need to be published so that we can know that this man was one of those guys who stole our money. He has returned some of it, okay. So that tomorrow he doesn't come back and say he wants to run for anything. We know them. But he's shielding them. Now, I also understand that he has to pay the politics. But again, I'm one of those commentators. I understand I'm not naive, right? But at the same time, if a grown man who is a God-fearing person takes a job, and the person who gave you the job is putting your hand behind your back, you should let the public know or resign.
You're assuming, and as a lawyer, I hope you know that is not acceptable in the court of law.
And that's what I'm saying.
You're assuming that he's shielding someone.
No, you're
assuming that the person who appointed him
You are the one who said that.
I didn't say that. I said that there's a remarkable difference from what was perceived to be the reality prior to this time. And now that Mr. Olukayode is chairman.
Yeah,
that was exactly what I said.
Not think that there's some political consideration. No, as far as I'm looking at Mr. Olu right now, he has a free hand. Mr. President is not touching him. They're not holding him down. So he owns his record. The fact that we are not getting the names of people that are being convicted, the fact that he's not be able to go after high-profile governors or high-profile stealers is on him, not the president.
What can be as high-profile as a former governor? I mean,
governor. How long has he been here?
There are quite a number of them. The former Delta State governor was called to answer some questions. The former, I think it was the former Kogi State governor. I mean, the former... there's another governor as well.
So you can't even remember it. But
it's the former Kwara State governor. Okay. I remember now. I always remember. Let us open the phone lines as well, because this is an audience participatory show,
okay.
So that we can hear from our viewers and perhaps from someone in the EFCC as well who might want to, make one or two comments. But from the recent statement we got from, you can call the phone lines on the screen. You can also tweet to us at TVC News On. Remember to tag at Nifemi Oguntoye so I can see your tweets and read them live on the show. In the latest statement we got from the commission, they're promising to investigate all allegations of fraud and misconduct levied against its officials. They specifically mentioned a particular $400,000, online. Yes. They said the particular person has not been named, but that they are committed to doing that. But who do you think should hold the commission accountable to promises of this nature?
What promises?
Of seeing that they deal with all of these allegations against their staff.
Yeah, the EFCC doesn't exist in a vacuum. I will assume there's a commission that supervises them. And so they are the ones, especially Mr. President. But again, how much will Mr. President do is my point. Mr. President has appointed him, and until he tells us somebody is holding his hand back, he needs to hold himself accountable.
Please hold that thought for a minute. Reverend Dominic has called in from Malimosho. Good morning, Reverend. Reverend Dominic, are you there? Okay, please turn down the volume of your TV set so we can have the conversation on phone.
Good morning, Femi. Can you hear me? Good morning.
I can hear you now. Go ahead with the contribution.
Okay. Femi, the EFCC has done well by exposing their own. But I want to support my friend Barrister there by saying they're supposed to publish their names and publish their pictures, if they can hear me. They're supposed to publish the names of these young men and publish their pictures. Why? Because they have known the operation of EFCC. If you don't publish their names and their pictures, they can also impersonate EFCC. They know their operations. They can even go into the villages or into the towns, even to be also the officials of EFCC. But if you publish their names and their pictures, anybody that sees them in any capacity as a security officer will know that this man has been dismissed. But if you shield their picture and shield their name, it's danger to the society. They have done well, not only to EFCC, there's fraudulent officers everywhere. But for we to live a good life in this nation and show a good example, the names of these men must publish, their picture must publish for the safety of Nigeria and for the safety of that particular EFCC as an institution, because they have known the operation, I repeat, they have known the way to go, they can impersonate it by their own understanding. But if you publish them and publish the pictures, then we know who is who in this nation. That's my own contribution. We must do that if we are going holistic to expose this corruption in EFCC. Thank you and God bless you.
Thank you, Reverend, for your contribution, aligning with your thought earlier. The EFCC also raised concerns about, has actually warned the public against impersonators using the name of its chairman to extort money from suspects. So some two individuals were arrested recently who had contacted a former managing director of the Nigerian Ports Authority, asking him to pay $1 million to Mr. Olukayode to give him soft landing in what was a non-existing investigation.
So those two people were named, weren't they?
Absolutely were.
Exactly. Why were then? And those ones have not even been found guilty. That's what I'm talking about. Double standard. So these people have been arrested. Great job. Okay. They mentioned their name and they should because they are facing trial. But the ones that you have dismissed already, that you have judged, you don't give us their names. Why? You should explain to me. You, since you speak for them.
I don't speak for EFCC, Dr. Bawo.
Okay, at least, since they're not here, since you have tried to balance it, there's absolutely no reason not to disclose it, is what I'm saying. I understand the sensitivity of protecting people, especially when they're still being investigated. But you have investigated these people. You have fired them for cause, and you have signed off on it. Nigerian people deserve. I'm writing a petition to him that we need those names. On behalf of Nigeria Lives Matter, my own organization, Nigerians need to have those names. So now these people that have been arrested, I think for impersonating him, it's a good development because that is happening a lot where people who don't have authority, they just come and be. But let him not be choosing when he wants to name suspects. They should have a policy. It's either you are naming suspects or you are not naming suspects. And more importantly for me, for the sake of the administration, because the government is doing so many fundamental things, and a lot of people may not appreciate some of the stuff. Even me, until I started to see some of them, I get it. But the EFCC is very key in helping us to stop corruption in Nigeria. But it's not going to stop when the big boys are not being held to book, is what I'm saying. So of all the noise in Nigeria, unless we have been deceiving ourselves, so of all the stuff we have been saying during the last 8 years, in his own 4 years of being in government, of being at the head of it, only 2 governors have been suspected of corruption.
Dr. Bawo, as a lawyer, have you practiced in Nigeria before?
Of course, I practiced in Nigeria several years
before
I left.
You must have heard about the accusation against legal practitioners who have, the fundamental...
Now you want to turn it around. Okay.
No, I'm not turning it around. No, we're just having conversations.
Okay.
Who have played fundamental role in having cases of this nature stretch forever in court.
Yes.
You have your gimmicks. You know how to go around this. So you can't put all the blames on a single agency of government, saddled with the responsibility to fight corruption. But hold that thought for a minute.
I agree.
Mr. Yakub has called in from Dokwemo. Good morning, Mr. Yakub. Mr. Yakub, are you there? We'll get back to that conversation. Let's take a short break. When we return, we'll continue the conversation on anti-corruption in Nigeria. Stay with us, everyone. Don't go away.
Meet Benga Oreshegun, a fearless voice and an advocate for the truth. He's bringing fresh energy and bold insights to journalists' Hangout.
Get ready for deeper analysis and dynamic perspectives. Join me and Babajide Kolade Otitoju with other veteran journalists on Journalists Hangout. Weekdays from 5 p.m. and on Sundays 1:30 p.m.
Voted as the best TV station of the year. TVC News breaks into the core of every event as they happen. Following all nations.
Thanks for staying with us, everyone. It's been some sort of a heated conversation in the studio with Dr. Okpe Bawo. Thank you for staying the course on the program. Ada's called in from Jos. Good morning, Ada. Ada, are you there? Ada, if you can hear me, please go ahead with your contribution. All right, we'll get back to the phone line shortly. Stay with us, everyone. We continue our conversation on updates from the EFCC saying that it has dismissed 27 of its officers in the outgone year. It's now warning the public about impersonators using the chairman's name to extort money from suspects. In October last year, shortly after his appointment, the EFCC chairman formerly served as the secretary of the agency and ex-chief of staff to the commission's chair for a cumulative period of about 4 years. Also asked staff members to declare their assets and prepare for investigations. And perhaps that's what we're seeing today. Ada, are you there? Good morning. All right, let's get back to our conversation here. I'm wondering what you think about how sustainable our current strategy is. Vis-a-vis what Mr. President said during his media chat, that perhaps if we empower people some more, it will reduce to an extent, the weight of corruption that we carry. But of course, we have an anti-corruption agency that should also do its bit. But how do you marry these two strategies together?
No, I agree. Ultimately, empowering the people is what will reduce corruption in the long term. And I think Mr. President got that right 100% because I'm personally very excited when I saw Mr. President do this digital empowerment thing, because a lot of our youths, especially those getting into the Yahoo, is because they don't know better. They don't even know, they feel that there is no other way for them to make it, especially when it comes to digital. And I've been shouting this for the last 2 years, and so I have to give Mr. President 100% his props when he saw that. So it's a better strategy. I agree that empower more people, at least the Yahoo part will reduce. But we also know that big names also tend to have big results in terms of forward movement. So, and I'm not seeing enough of that with our EFCC. They are trying. But my point is, I think while our EFCC chairman is a great person, like I was saying to somebody the other day, I think part of his challenge is that is much more interested in the souls of the criminals than actually jailing them. So it's more of a rehabilitative law enforcer.
But is it really fair to pick him up on a single comment he made?
Not a single comment. He says over and over and over again.
Oh,
the
really?
man, he says it over and over again. And I see his philosophy. His philosophy is that some of these people got here out of misdirection or whatever. So maybe if we can redirect. It's even a philosophy of law enforcement, by the way, where instead of focusing more on just punishment, you are focusing on redirecting them. They do it in the U.S. also, where they redirect to go do community service, go this, go do that. But I think, so that is heavy with him. And that's also okay. I'm not going to say go and condemn all these children to death. So he's more focused on the rehabilitative part of the law enforcement, which is good. But he should still be able to make those very serious impact in terms of the big level guys. He's sorting the young boys out, jailing as many of them and giving as many of them opportunities for diversion, and that's good. But what are they doing for those who actually owe our billions? There's no way you can explain to me why we have no names on these 700 and something duplexes. They've been forfeited. It's not like they are just doing proceedings. At the very minimum, we should have some people did the construction. We should know who they are. Some people, the money that was paid for those who went through some accounts, some of those information should be in the public space now.
That reminds me where we left off the conversation before the break, and it has to do with the role of lawyers in all of this.
Yes.
What is the philosophy behind speaking for a thief, even though I think everybody has a right for defense? But a situation, what we've seen play out over the years is that even when these high-profile cases get to court, they take forever, considering how some lawyers have been able to handle it.
Yes, it's a democracy.
Some have built their entire profession, defending politicians.
Yes, there's nothing wrong with that, because the profession is your job. Okay, as long as you are doing it ethically, every accused person deserves to be represented. It's even in our constitution. So that is not the problem. The problem is probably the system that allows.
And you think they've not been able to effectively manipulate the process to extend the prosecution?
The job of the defense attorney is to manipulate the process, is to extend it. I will hope if I'm accused of something, my own lawyer will try to figure out any way he can to extend and mess up the system. It's for the system to tighten up itself. For instance, like making sure that judges If it's a bail matter, they do it within a week. To make sure that cases do not go for more than a month or two, you give them specific guidelines. Abroad, when the court sets your trial for your case, and they set a date 7th to 11th, unless you are dead, they are not postponing it. So cases finish faster. Those are systemic issues that we need to fix. But if you allow a lawyer to be able to write it, if the process allows a lawyer to write a letter into court to say, I have called this morning so I can't come to court, are you going to say if I'm accused, my lawyer should not use that strategy?
We have a special court. We have a special court for election litigations. We've also revamped our laws such that all of these, election cases are dealt with within a limited period of time.
Yes.
Do you think we should adopt that in fighting corruption?
100%. I'm surprised. It's like when things affect politicians is when things move. So those election petitions, you see the way they are done, 1 month, 2 months, 3 months is done. Why can't we do that across all levels of our both criminal and civil system? Now we have some people who are waiting trial for 9 years, 8 years, are waiting trial for gerrymandering, are waiting trial for petty stealing. That's criminal on the side of the government, not the defense. Defense job is to make the life of a prosecutor hell. It is for us to tidy up the systems so that the defendants do not have anything to take advantage of, just like in the electoral system. You think if they allow the lawyers, they won't extend it to 4 years, but they cut it down. You have to submit your brief, you have to submit it within a certain time. So it worked. So why are the politicians not extending that kind of a closed system to every area of our legal system? Because if they do that, our economy will blow up, will blossom. Because right now, okay, if I have a contractual dispute with you, I'm very hesitant to go to court because it's going to take 7 years. I'd rather figure out a way that me and you can settle it. So commerce has been affected, business has been affected. But if you know, it's not apple to apple, so I don't want to be accused of comparing Nigeria to America too much. But my point is that commerce is very smooth. If we have a disagreement, I don't even need a lawyer to go to court. You fill out a form. Okay, you people come to court. The judge look at what people are saying on paper and make a decision right there. Everybody keeps moving. We can do that. We've seen it in election process. We can do it in every other area, especially commerce. So right now, the defendant, because of all those loopholes, they get their lawyers and they start extending and frustrating everybody. But I'm not going to stay here and tell you I have anything against the lawyers. If it's in the rule, now I'm not for unethical behavior. If the court rules say you can do this, and my lawyer is trying to use it to make sure that I don't, particularly if I don't have a case, that I don't get found guilty, why will you blame my lawyer? It is for the system to say, no, you cannot do this. You cannot get more than one adjournment, for instance. Complaint of hellfire. In that case, now that is beyond the anti-corruption agency. Yeah, you are the one that brought it up. I'm saying, remember? No, because this conversation is on the context, is within that context. Okay, fair enough. In terms of prolonging cases, I get that. But that is not the problem with the EFCC. It is part of the problem. The EFCC arrest you and say they are investigating. How is that problem of the court system? No, but we've also seen some cases get to court, yes or no? Sorry? We've seen some cases get to court, yes or no? I just ask you, how many of the high-profile politicians have their cases gone to court or concluded? Because if you do your homework well. Now you're asking the question, concluded. So some actually got to court. Yeah, because the EFCC, with all due respect, they are not doing their jobs right. So how can you charge somebody with 20 counts, 50 counts? You really want to get a case done fast, reduce it to 2 counts. The one that you know that there's no way it's going to get out of it. Take that one down, get to 4 or 5 years, then bring the next one. The fact that you brought 2 charges does not mean you cannot bring 20 more. But what do? They do grandstanding. They get one like this Kogi guy, they list all these charges that you know, just to even certify those charges in court will take another 1 year. Because lawyers are not stupid. They're going to challenge all sorts of stuff. So you narrow it down. And they also work more with plea bargaining. People hate it. I don't have a problem with it. Because it allows for efficient administration of justice. If somebody is stealing 100 billion, you sit him down, make sure you have the evidence against him before you arrest him. Don't go arrest him before the evidence. Now you have the evidence, you show it to him. Okay, and then you guys will negotiate. Instead of 5 years, you're going to do 6 years. Look at the Hebrew case. I have to give Olaniwa Ajaya and their props. Not only did they do plea bargain for that case, they got billions from that woman, but they still insist that she must have 6 months. Is 6 months fair for the kind of amount of money that she agreed that she stole? Maybe not, but if they had continued to push that, it may have taken 5 years, 6 years. So they took what they could get. Why are they not doing more of that? I expect Mr. Olu to do more of that. And he is. Funny enough, I'm hearing all sorts of, we just recovered 10 billion, whatever. What he's not doing right is not giving us the names of the people involved. So we don't believe it. If the government tells me we just recovered 50 billion last month, do you think I believe them? No, I don't. Because it's in the air. From who? Where is the money? So that part, I think, is got to do with the court system. It's got to do with the administration of the EFCC themselves.
How do you think the agency can balance the need to hold politicians accountable for corruption with the need to also avoid being seen as politicizing corruption investigations? I think it was you who mentioned that we've seen prosecution done on the pages of newspapers.
Yes. Yeah, but they are doing selective prosecution. Let them not be selective. If their policy is that they are not going to disclose accused persons until they are found guilty, let them do it across the board. Number one. Number two, if somebody is convicted, it's a completed process. They need to give us the full facts. That's when we can trust them. I trust Mr. Alu right now because I've seen him operate, and I've happened to meet with him once. And by the way, I have to give him that prop. One of the other things is done that you have not really mentioned that they've done in the process is that when you file EFCC petition now, nobody is stressing you to give them money before they start investigating. I know that for a fact. I brought a case from the US. I don't know the man from Adam. I filed it. They invited me. And they set up. I was just stunned. Nobody asked me for a dime. Okay? So it's done that. My point is that more transparency will help. And less motivational speaking. Because the EFCC guy needs to be feared by the criminals. Nobody is fearing Mr. Alu right now. Because they know he's a nice guy. Okay, he's going to give you coffee. Even if you go to his office, he's going to say, no, let's come through the back door so that I can. It gives too much courtesy. So because Nigerians don't like niceness, especially real criminals. Okay, when you have a nice like that, they will say he's not a serious guy. Ribadu, when he was there, he's got his faults. But every criminal in Nigeria is on top of, on their toes. They know that this man is not playing. I'm not saying he should go Ribadu way. What I'm saying, they should know that he's not going to extend too much courtesy. Let there be transparency. Why should a governor be able to come in through the back door? He said it with his own mouth that I invited Yaya Bello that can come in through the back door. Why are you doing that? If they are doing that for him, are they going to do it for me? So you are doing selective enforcement of the law. So that undercuts his credibility. Even though I understand what he's trying to do, just trying to be nice. Okay, he's a governor, we'll give him some courtesy. But a real law enforcement officer does not enforce the law based on the eye. You don't look at people's eye to enforce the law. Justice is supposed to be blind. So if I'm accused of stealing a phone, okay, the way you're going to deal with me should be the way you deal with the guy that stole 10 billion. Transparency. Don't tell one to come through the back door, then get them to come to my house and put handcuffs on me.
So you talked about the number of politicians, high-profile politicians being prosecuted.
Yes.
I'm wondering how many they can do at a time. Is it possible that the agency is overwhelmed in that regard?
I don't know. I don't know since I don't work with them. But from what I'm saying, they're not overwhelmed. Mr. Alubaro has too much time to be doing press conferences, talking about things that doesn't have to do with the EFCC. I keep saying that because it annoys me. I'm sorry, with all due respect.
Well, I think you've said it enough now.
Yes, I want to get it.
And we have heard.
Then number two.
So maybe you should not say it again.
Yeah, because you're overwhelmed, you won't have time to do that. That's why I don't think it's overwhelmed. I just think that maybe he's doing a lot. I also want to be fair to him. There's so much maybe rot in their own system that he's trying to clean up before they can really, because he's been there less than 2 years, in fairness to him. Now we see he's dismissed 27 people. Maybe that's what he's doing. My own point is that right now, for me, as a diasporan, reading up on him every day, I needed him to be able to hold some of the big level suspected criminals, because they are not found guilty yet, to put them on the table. We are not seeing enough of that. A lot of what he's been doing now is try to clean up the Yahoo thing in Nigeria. He's done thousands of convictions, and I have to give him his props for that. But if you sensitize the people in the public, do they feel is fighting corruption? They don't feel that because they are not saying the names. If he has put 4, 5, or 6 governors in court now, work out a deal with them and published it, we will have this feeling that we are going somewhere. But because I'm a professional, I read his body language, and I go to their website every day. Believe it or not, I go there almost at least once a week to go see what. It's always updated. They're always having more convictions there. Everybody convicted there, they have their name, they have the offense they committed on their site. But when it comes to the ones that are, we don't hear about that. 734 houses or so, and we don't have names. We need heads on the table.
Let's try to balance this conversation. So at one hand is we say anti-corruption commission, getting people who have actually stolen the money. Do you think that there's a way we can build a more formidable structure and system in our nation that makes it more difficult for these monies to be stolen?
100%, and Mr. Olu also talks about that a lot. That's why I say so. He's approaching this thing, and I have to say that for him in what I call a holistic way. Okay, he's wanting to just say, let's go and prosecute. Why don't we make it more difficult for them to even steal the money in the first place? And he's been saying that. But we do have, and I want every Nigerian to understand this, the British people, they handed over to us one of the most robust bureaucracies in the world, and we have not changed much of it. So we have the bureaucracy. Do you know how tough it takes to even take 100,000 naira out of a ministry account if they're following procedure? PAMSEC we have to sign. Clinical manager we have to sign. But my dad was a civil servant, so I know that. So it's robust. The problem is that people are not following the process. If people are following the process, there shouldn't be. It shouldn't be easy to steal our money. But what we do is that the governor bypasses so many things, or the minister. These days now, say instead of carrying the file to 5-6 places, they just say bring it directly to my office. So it is corruption that is the problem, not our bureaucratic system. It should be very, very difficult to be able to take money from any Nigerian bank account. For those who don't know that, I'm telling you for a fact, the bureaucracy is even annoying. If they want to throw Nigerian bureaucracy at you. I got one piece of land in Ogun State just to get it approved. Took me 7 years because I refused to pay bribe. He had to go from table to table. We went to 7 tables just to get governor's consent on a plot of land. One plot, not estate, one plot. In the character do that, they say, this one has to sign off. And I was sending somebody there every week to make sure it goes from table to table. Because I swore to myself, I'm not going to pay that. It took me 7 years and 2 administrations. Because they just kept holding it in one place. They say he's still in somebody's office. You have to go talk to them there. So I'll go talk. But the talk they want me to talk, me, I don't want to talk that talk. They say, okay, don't worry, we'll treat it.
So you eventually did not pay a dime?
I did not pay a dime.
But you waited 7 years?
Yes. And my client who was ready. It was a grill. I said, we are not paying. I told him, you have a choice. I won't do it. Maybe you get another lawyer. But if we were able to pay them some money, because I don't want to go be bribing them, then they use it against me tomorrow when I go on air and I'm talking my crap. He said, no, we are not going to pay. And we stayed there. So we have the bureaucracy. And what Mr. Olu should help us do is to make sure that those who are becoming caught in that bureaucracy are prosecuted and jailed. We don't need a new bureaucracy. People telling you that we need to revamp the system. The system is there. It's there.
It also boils down to public perception and trust. Yes. And I'm hoping that, the agency of government will be able to do more in the new year. This is an open challenge to the EFCC. Perhaps we can also get someone from there, or Mr. Olukoyede himself can come on air to have this conversation. I think that it's important that government officials speak more about what they're doing. Earlier this year, I spoke with the CEO of Nelfund, and it's amazing that the people do not really know what they are doing. When that ignorance is there, it gives room for speculation, many of which you have also made during the course of this program. So
I agree.
Perhaps the EFCC will come to shed some light. But that's our time. We have to go. Dr. Okweban, well, thank you so much for coming.
I appreciate you.
And I like that you enjoyed your stay in Nigeria. Things are getting better, no doubt. We're hoping that this new year we also experience bigger gains. Dr. Okweban is a US-based lawyer, an author, and a political affairs analyst. Happy New Year to you.
Thank you so much for having me. This is a beautiful place.
It is. I don't think you have anything like that in the US. I'm just kidding.
No, I tell you, it's better than CNN. I've been to CNN.
Oh, you have been to CNN?
Oh, your place is better.
He said that. I haven't been there yet. Thank you so much, everyone, for being a part of the show. We're back tomorrow, God willing. I am Nifemi Oguntoye.
The following is a paid presentation by ShopX TV. It's ShopX Bonanza time. ShopX TV is thrilled to offer an exclusive giveaway of up to 30% on the amazing CookX air fryer oven from now till January 31st, 2025. our incredible Cookex 10-in-1 air fryer oven that makes all the amazing fried food you love with 80% less fat. Normally retails for 299,950 naira. But call the number on your screen now and get it for just 199,950 naira, which is a whooping 100,000 naira off. Amazing! The incredible 12-liter oven that offers 75% more space for cooking than traditional air fryers. Stay tuned and learn about the amazing free bonus items included with the Cookex air fryer oven. Say goodbye to unhealthy, greasy food and hello to nutritious, delicious meals. Its easy-to-use digital display and preset cooking functions take the guesswork out of meal preparations. The Cookex air fryer oven is a 12-liter powerhouse that can fit a whole chicken and feed the entire family. Air-fried chicken, corn, and tasty fish, and all made with little to no oil. Here is exciting news. You can air-fry rotisserie. Regular rotisseries have no airflow. It's crisper on the outside and so much juicier on the inside. The Cookex air fryer oven replaces a deep fryer, a rotisserie oven, a dehydrator, an oven, a toaster oven, and a microwave. It features a state-of-the-art touchscreen with 10 presets. The Cookex air fryer oven is easy to wipe.
I'm happy. My husband is happy. And of course, I have a happy home. From my grilling on check, to my frying on check, to my baking on check.
You could be paying 299,950 naira for the Cookex air fryer oven. But call the number on your screen now or scan the QR code and get it on the ShopEx Mega Bonanza deal for 199,950 naira. The Cookex air fryer oven comes with a drip tray and a grill tray. But wait, there's more. If you order now, you get not one, not two, but 3 bonus items valued at 50,000 naira for free. Bonus number 1, an extra large rotating stainless mesh basket, amazing for French fries. Bonus number 2, our stainless rotisserie fork. It's perfect for restaurant-style rotisserie chicken. Bonus number 3, stainless steel food handle. Get the Cookex air fryer oven in 2 easy payments of 99,975 naira. Pay twice to get this innovative kitchen appliance. This offer is for a limited time only. We will also deliver the Cookex air fryer oven to your door for free.
The preceding was a paid presentation brought to you by ShopEx TV.
Nigeria's Niger Delta region, where the black gold continues to flow and fuel Africa's largest economy, where the line between wealth and poverty has never been thinner. Oil, gas, politics, development, and community issues all are highly valuable commodities in the Niger Delta. How do they combine and how can they work together to spawn a new era in the Niger Delta? Join award-winning ace broadcaster Mahmoud Felix Akuga on TVC News every Wednesday at 9:30 p.m. and Saturdays at 3:30 p.m. as he probes deep to analyze issues in the region from angles never before explored. Inside the Niger Delta with Mahmoud Akuga, the authentic voice of Nigeria's oil-rich region.
Keep up with innovative, revealing, and groundbreaking happenings in the world of brands and brand builders in Nigeria and across the globe. Mingle with people and brands that make the cut and the personalities that keep reinventing the trends and traditions in the marketing world. All are exciting one-stop shop for marketing vibes. Marketing Edge on TV. You're always right on time with the right people and movers and shakers of the world of marketing as they share their views and ideas on the business and challenges of advertising, corporate affairs, media strategy, and the unfolding exciting world of digital marketing. Join the trendsetters and key decision makers as they shape opinions and project into the future of the marketing landscape for 30 exhilarating minutes on this channel. Stay ahead, be thrilled to beat, be marketing savvy with Marketing Edge on TV, promoting the bright idea.
Information is power, information is security, information is knowledge. On Labor Lens, we believe that working people around the world have real questions of their own. They want to know how the world of work operates, what it means to the employer of labor, how policies affect workers in the workplace. On Labor Lens, I am sure we engage effectively the organized labor, organized private sector, and government to get out of them information workers are in need of. I am Sharon Jackson, asking questions that make you get sense of the workplace.
Stay ahead with the biggest news stories. Go beyond the news headlines. Experience impactful investigations. Enjoy resourceful news coverage in real time. TVC News at 7 and TVC News at 10 p.m. Live every day on this channel. TVC News. First with breaking news.
Every weekday on Business Nigeria, we uncover the secrets of the financial world.
We analyze the stock market, shares, bonds, and the thrilling world of cryptocurrency.
Facts matter. Our team dives deep to separate fact from popular opinion.
We simplify complex government policies as it impacts your everyday life, helping you navigate the ever-changing financial landscape.
Watch Business Nigeria every weekday at 2 p.m. only on TVC News. First with breaking news.
At TVC News, wherever the big news story is happening, we're geared up to break it. TVC News. First with breaking news.
Hello, TVC Communications. How can I help?
What makes TVC the right choice for my business?
Excellent question, sir. Let me share some exciting facts with you.
Start your day on TVC Entertainment with Wake Up Nigeria, a family and lifestyle.
Hello, welcome to TVC Media News, live from our headquarters here in Lagos, Nigeria. We are tracking development in the Baishin area of the Abuja, where survivors from an explosion caused by an improvised explosive device at the Usman Islamia School in Kuchibi village are now in the stable condition. Residents are, however, still in fear over the incident that shattered the peace of the ethnic Bangi community. We don't want that this report contains scenes with disturbing images. Sifoni Hussein has a story.
Blood stains, scattered clothing, and shrapnels from the IED explosion at this Islamia school that killed 2 students and wounded 2 other people. It's one incident that has shattered the peace of residents in Kuchibui, an ethnic Bagi village in Abuja.
This is the whole. This is what? Daddy. Siana, let's color this place now. See the whole.
Faith Tutu was among the first set of people that got to the scene of the explosion.
We just had a blast and that's all. So reaching here, I was here and I saw blood all over. I saw 4 people lying down in this place here that people are seeing. So that was what happened.
Residents and the community leaders are still in shock.
Since when they born our people, when our people come for this our community, we never hear anything about all this bomb blast for this our community. Now just all this recently we won't hear something about this bomb for this our community.
It's so sad to understand. I don't know what to say about this issue. When we lost about 2 lives of young men, that they are here reciting the Quran.
The police said the IED was brought to the village by 3 people who came from Katsina State 3 days before the incident. What is unclear is if the suspects were students of the Islamia school.
Jesus, what?
What I'm asking is it that you didn't know what he was holding on?
Don't know. the best thing, but if this game win now, as you go, it's everything for us. This will bring our.
One of the survivors is now in stable condition at this hospital.
She went there to sell awara. Getting there, she saw some children playing with an object. They even offered to give her the object in exchange for awara. Unknown to them, it was a bomb.
The bomb blast has made the community rethink security.
We need government help to see so we get police station for this our community. I think all these things, when they are trying to happen for this my community, I think the thing will stop.
But there are still questions begging for answers. That's the first time an incident like this would happen in this community, and residents are perturbed. But the big question is, was this a lone wolf attack? Sifon Asian, TVC News, Kuchibui, Abuja.
Still in the nation's capital, the Chief of the Air Staff, Air Marshal Hassan Abubakar, has described the successful reactivation of the NAV 039 as an operational gain, which speaks to the Nigerian Air Force's commitment to self-reliance. This follows the reactivation of the Dornier D0228 aircraft, which had been grounded for 23 years by engineers and technicians. According to the spokesman for the Nigerian Air Force, Air Vice Marshal Olushola Akimboyewa, the aircraft, originally designed 5N MPS and operated by the defunct Ministry of Mines, Power and Steel, had been grounded at the Dana facility in Kaduna since 2001. It says following a presidential directive, the Nigerian Air Force embarked on the project, reactivated the aircraft and redesignated it NAV 039. Air Vice Marshal Olushola Akimboyewa adds that the feat was achieved between June and September last year by a team of 5 engineering officers and 40 technicians from the NAV 431 engineering group in Kaduna. As part of efforts to end the production and proliferation of illegal arms in the country, manufacturers have been given an opportunity to let them go the business and pursue a better career with the Defense Industries Corporation of Nigeria. Through the initiative, the Nigerian military will also be engaging citizens and experts who will register with the defense industries. Senior reporter Funam Joshua has the details.
The Nigeria's Chief of Defense Staff, Lieutenant General Christopher Musa, is inspecting some of these arms and ammunition locally fabricated, seized by the troops of Operation Safe Haven within the Joint Operation Area. The growing production and proliferation of locally made arms and ammunition has become a major concern in the fight against insecurity, not just on the plateau, but in the country at large. Lieutenant General Christopher Musa, after inspecting the seized weapons, reeled out the next step to take in tackling the illegal production of arms and ammunition in the country.
Yeah, this is what we're talking about. The importance of us retrieving and recovering all these weapons, light, small arms and light weapons. It is important that we're able to take these things out of the population so that we don't give them ability. But you know, the most critical thing is these ones that are fabricated. You can see, they fire automatic. These are locally made weapons. All these ones are locally made. And so it's important for us to look at. Now, Mr. President has authorized DICON, Defense Industry Corporation of Nigeria, to partner with manufacturers. Now, who says? You see, sometimes the tendency is these guys have the talents, but nobody is bringing them in to use them positively. We want to use this medium to also advise them that they should not allow themselves to be used negatively. Each of them that has this talent should come out openly. We will take him with DICON, we will connect him, give him a platform for him to also come and present himself and be able to do what he can.
Security experts say harnessing positive skills of law-abiding citizens by the military authorities is in the best interest of the country. Funam Joshua, TVC News, Jos.
Legal matters now. A High Court sitting in Ibadan has adjourned until the 13th of January to rule on a bail application filed by suspects involved in a fun fair which led to a stampede that claimed the lives of 35 children. A senior reporter, Laidi Iwale, has more on this report.
The stampede happened on the 18th of December 2024.
35 children lost their lives, leaving an unforgettable memory in the heart of residents of Ibadan, particularly those directly affected by the tragedy. Since the incident, concerned individuals have continued to demand justice and the trial of those involved in the stampede. Governor of Oyo State, Seyi Makinde, also insisted that everyone linked to the incident will face trial, regardless of their status.
Quite a number of people, they've been reaching out to me, saying, oh, this thing happened in Anambra State. It happened also FCT. Nobody went to jail. Why is it in Oyo State that some people are going to jail? I said, well, Oyo State is not Anambra State. And no matter how highly placed, justice must be done.
Following the tragic incident, the accused, Queen Naomi Shilekwola, former wife of the Ooni of Ife, popular radio broadcaster Oriyomi Hamzat, and Abdullahi Fasasi, the principal of the school where the incident occurred, were remanded in Agodi Correctional Center by a magistrate court in Ibadan. Meanwhile, a high court in Ibadan has heard the bail application submitted by the defense counsels for the accused, but the prosecutor opposed the motion.
Applicants filed their summons for bail before the court, and we opposed all the three applications. So arguments were taken. You can see we're just coming out of the court since 9, and rulings have been reserved till 13th of January.
Yeah, we are saying by law that they ought not to be arraigned by a holding charge. That ordinarily they should have followed the provision of the law, which is section 292 of the Administration of Criminal Justice Law. That is, they should not detain or remand them in custody based on a holding charge. We have canvassed the point in court, and it is for the court to deliver a considered ruling on it.
As the court prepares to decide the fate of the accused, loved ones are optimistic and hope that the government would temper justice with mercy. Oladio Yewole, TVC News, Ibadan.
You're watching TVC Media News. Stay with us. We'll be right back with more stories for you.
Experience information and entertainment like never before as TVC Breakfast takes your weekends to a whole new level. Introducing TVC Breakfast Weekend Edition, your ultimate source of thrilling sports updates, insightful political analysis, and captivating entertainment news. Stay in the know with what's trending, catch up with the latest in sports, and immerse yourself in the latest buzz and movies. Your weekends are no longer just days off, but moments packed with knowledge, excitement, and enjoyment. TVC Breakfast Weekend Edition.
Thanks for staying with us here on TVC Media News. Stakeholders of the All Progressives Congress in Enugu State have dissociated from the recent comment of a former Speaker of the State House of Assembly on the reconstitution of the Southeast Development Commission. The Members Forum from Igbo Etiti Council area of the state made their position known at the first APC stakeholders meeting held at the party secretariat. Senior reporter Bamdele Ajayi has the story.
The dust seems not settled yet on the reconstitution of the Southeast Development Commission Board and Management, as members, as major stakeholders, describe the second list as anti-party interest. Some Southeast leaders had kicked against the list, attributing it as an action of a few individuals, bent on subverting the good intention of President Bola Ahmed Tinubu to develop the Southeast region. Among which is a position registered by these APC members, claiming the action taken substituted the members for a PDP non-member from Enugu West Senatorial Zone. Presenting the matter before the state ESCO, the party council executive expressed concern over the removal of the name of their kinsman in the reconstituted board of the SEDC, calling for justice to be made in the interest of core party members.
Unfortunately, the list was tempered and the only nomination coming from the Enugu North, which is Zoka Zone, was changed to a non-PDP man from Enugu West. We state categorically that we are in support of the initial nomination done by the Southeast leadership of the APC, led by His Excellency Senator Hope Uzodinma. How can one claim to be an Asoka man and then be against the nomination of his brother, Dr. Daniel Abuja, who is representing the entire Asoka zone in the SEC? This is so unfortunate.
The list that have been submitted with the caucus of the party, which comprises all members and leaders of the party. We stand with our leaders and we call for the return of the previous list, which was well balanced and which was well agreed by the leaders of the party.
The whole thing went to Enugu West Neutral Zone, which is not balanced, thereby depriving us from our own slots. And one of us is now happy about it because the person that they just put his name is his friend and also a PDP member.
The party members declared that the first list signed by governors of Imo and Ebonyi State and other major APC stakeholders in the Southeast remained the authentic list for the Southeast Development Commission. Bamidele Ajayi, TVC News Enugu.
In other news, the Imo State government is seeking to collaborate with some security agencies in its fight against illicit drug and substance abuse. Special Advisor to Governor Uzodinma on narcotics and illicit drug monitoring, Uzechukwu Ogbonna, says the state government is committed in its fight against this menace. Senior reporter Prince Suba has more on this report.
The Imo State government is at the state police headquarters to seek collaboration of the Commissioner of Police to find ways to break the supply chain of illicit drug in the state. The same message was also taken to the office of NDLEA in the state. For the Special Advisor to the Governor on narcotics and illicit drug monitoring, Uzechukwu Ogbonna, collaboration with these critical security agencies will give momentum in the fight.
We want to go into another phase of the war, which is the supply reduction. Together with the NDLEA, the police, the army, all the stakeholders involved in this fight, we can be able to set up a task force so that we can go down to the nooks and crannies where these people operate from and make sure we bring down the rate of supply of this drug.
The heads of the two security agencies in the state gave their support to the move by state government to tackle drug peddling. They noted that it will also help to check insecurity in the state.
I'm in full support of this task force. If we'll be able to control the flow of drugs, the inflow of drugs to the states, and by His grace, we're going to control crime rates in the state by 60%. For that, the task force will be formed soonest.
I'm excited by the fact that you have been reappointed to the office you were before as SA Narcotics to His Excellency. It's a job given to the man who knows how to do his job well. And to me, it is a testimony, a testament to the fact that while you were there before, you performed very well. I've arrested quite a large number of drug dealers. Some have been prosecuted, convicted, and sentenced to different terms of imprisonment. We intend to do more.
The state government, through the Bureau of Narcotics and Illicit Drug Monitoring, has been on an awareness campaign, but wants to go into a second phase of supply reduction of illicit drugs in the state. Prince Oba, TVC News, Owerri.
Now looking back in time, the stocks trading in 2024 witnessed appreciable growth in volume, value and listings. The exchange drew worldwide attention, showing itself as a wealth creation center. In this review, Effiong Ekop looks at high points in the 2024 markets transactions.
The Nigerian stock market began its 2024 trading year on a positive note. Its opening index, measuring the general price growth, had kicked off at 74,773.77 points, while the market cap, which is the total monetary value of the exchange, stood at 40.91 trillion naira. The stock market in the year under review witnessed elastic growth in volume of securities traded as it soared by more than 3 billion units of shares as at December 2024. Total market cap, that is, total value of securities at the exchange, stood at 61 trillion naira as at December 2024. The all-share index of the market as at December 2024 stood at 101,129.09 points, growing year-to-date at 35%.
The sterling performance of the market this year can be attributed to the contribution of this market ecosystem, from the issuers to our trading license holders to the solicitors and all the capital market participants that are responsible for the turnover that we see in our market.
Now, for more on how the Nigeria's economy performed in 2024, economist Chukwuma Okenwa joins me on the Media News. Thank you so much for joining me on TVC Media News. Now, despite facing challenges like inflation and employment, Nigeria has actually made strides in sectors like agriculture and technology. So how do you assess the progress Nigeria made in diversifying its economy in 2024?
Well, I would say that is commendable, because we know over the time we've been a monolithic economy, dependent largely on oil, but also exploring the non-oil aspect of the economy. It's viable, while reasonably expected, like we see that Nigeria is not the only oil-producing nation. We can borrow models that have worked from some other nations that, despite having oil, they dare to diversify in the areas of technology, agriculture, because economy is all-encompassing. So focusing on one aspect wouldn't be smart, and I think the current administration is doing well in that regard.
Right. So the agricultural sector actually faced significant challenges, especially when it comes to diversifying, looking at oil and other sectors. But how much gains do you think we made in the agricultural sector? Because we made a lot of gains, but because if you look at the climate change to other issues that we had, what impact did it have in 2024?
Significantly would be that of security, because we understand the social dynamics, the impact of security on even farming. And it's quite commendable to note that like last year under review, which was further validated by even a farmers association, there has been like a reduction in the heightened attacks or clashes between Fulanis and herders, the Fulani herders and farmers. And what that means is that farmers could be more confident to get into their farms and produce for the nation, even with the rising price of food, which we saw going at a very high spark, making the cost of living quite very challenging. But of course, addressing that basic issue that has affected farming and agriculture is smart enough and can restore further farmers' confidence, and of course boost production.
So looking ahead, what are the key lessons Nigeria can take from its 2024 economic challenges, and how should the country prioritize its investment to ensure sustainable growth in the coming years?
So good enough, like the budget of Mr. President reflects that this time around, we as a country should spend in areas that produce real value for the economy, not just entirely in the financial aspect, but also like in the real economy, generating growth that can translate even to the level of the microeconomic level. Because what the common man and families ask is not just to look at maybe like the figures. Yes, significantly we saw like progress in the GDP size, consistent with the projection by IMF and World Bank. But what the common man on the street is asking is, how does that translate to the food? Am I able to afford food now, than before? And with some of the projections we'll see from the budget of the president, and most importantly, that he wants to move down the inflation from somewhere above 34% to 15%, I'm sure that will impact greatly on the living standards of citizens. So when we are talking about, okay, the things that the government is doing on the microeconomic level, substantially can also impact on families and individuals.
Absolutely. We continue to monitor trends and how much they are definitely emerging for the Nigeria economy. Chukwuma Okenwa, thank you so much for your insights on the media news. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Now let's take you to outside Nigeria, where 3 fires are destroying homes as they raze across Los County, the largest of which in the Pacific Palisades, has left tens of thousands of people under evacuation orders. More were forced to abandon cars in the neighborhood between Malibu and Santa Monica, which also issued evacuation orders. With traffic slowing evacuations and flames jumping the highway, some had considered sheltering on the beach at a Pasadena care home. Workers raced to evacuate elders' residents with a blaze just a block away. The out-of-control Palisades fire is blazing through about 5 football fields a minute and has burned more than 2,900 acres. Los Angeles has declared an emergency, and firefighters warned that tornado-like winds were complicating their battles. And as TVC News this hour, for more updates on the stories we're monitoring, you can visit our website, www.tvcnews.tv. You can also follow us on our social media handles, Facebook, Instagram, and on X at TVC News NG. On YouTube, we are live at TVC News Nigeria. Many thanks for watching. I'm Ibrahim Shita. Bye for now.
Weekday on Business Nigeria, we uncover the secrets of the financial world.
We analyze the stock market, shares, bonds, and the thrilling world of cryptocurrency.
Facts matter. Our team dives deep to separate fact from popular opinion.
We simplify complex government policies as it impacts your everyday life, helping you navigate the ever-changing financial landscape.
Watch Business Nigeria every weekday at 2 p.m. only on TVC News. First with breaking news.
You're watching Beyond 100 Days with Nifemi Oguntoye. President Tinubu, since he assumed office,
they are on our way to progress.
6 out of the 8 APC federal lawmakers.
I have a movement structure that's going to take back our party in Enugu State. Because this one I'm seeing is just by moonlight. It's not working.
So I'm wondering what you think, or who you think can stop him now.
He doesn't own the party.
One of the causes of inflation is because people cannot go to the farm.
The government still needs to do more so that people can eat.
I believe we're clamoring for is more responsible use of social media. Not that people just go in there and think that they can say anything to anybody.
Tinubu is not one who believes in the simple. I mean, he wants to get it done. He will face it. He will get it done.
Yes, the president, from inception of his administration, focused squarely on diversifying the economy and driving in investments to cushion the effect of everything that we've seen, ranging from COVID-19 to the global commodity shocks, global financial crisis, and all of that.
I was privileged to have worked under a governor who believed in the system, who also built up the system, and I'm going to do same.
All right, that's our show today, everyone. Thanks for being a part of it.
TVC News, first with breaking news.
TVC Communications. How can I help?
What makes TVC the right choice for my business?
Excellent question, sir. Let me share some exciting facts with you.
Start your day on TVC Entertainment with Wake Up Nigeria, a family and lifestyle show. Your view empowers women globally.
It's your view, let it count.
Entertainment Splash delivers the hottest celebrity trends. On TVC News, we keep you informed with breaking news and in-depth analysis of events shaping the world.
I will continue to speak the truth.
TVC News at 7 and TVC News at 10 p.m. delivers the most important stories of the day. Max FM, your hit music radio station, captivates listeners daily across Lagos and Abuja, making every commute more enjoyable. Adaba 88.9 FM is not left out, as it is the voice of Southwest. And on TVC Digital, we reach 2 million viewers daily. All together, pulls in over 17 million viewers daily. Contact us on 0707-272-8338 or marketing at tvccommunications.tv. Partner with TVC Communications today. Let's grow together.
At TVC News, wherever the big news story is happening, we're geared up to break it. TVC News, first with breaking news.
On this week's edition of the program, we'll be discussing about the expectations of the organized private sector in the year 2025. We also have news stories for you. We will be right back. It's safe to say that activities that shaped the labor sector in 2024 was centered on bargaining, agreeing, and implementing the new national minimum wage. In April 2024, the Nigeria Employers Consultative Association (NECA) held a job fair. On 31st May 2024, the Nigerian Labour Congress and Trade Union Congress called for an indefinite general strike, demanding that the country's monthly minimum wage be raised from 30,000 naira to 494,000 naira. This came as a response to a national